Hi, it's Joy, and today I'm going to be watching The Bad Batch, Season 1, Episode 1, Aftermath. I am very excited to finally be starting this show. I will say I'm a little bit like, I didn't love the episodes of the Clone Wars surrounding The Bad Batch. I didn't hate them, but I was kind of like, oh, do I really want a series about these guys? But at the same time, I know in my comments, everyone had nothing but praise for this show and the characters, so I am excited to get there, but I'm also a little apprehensive at the same time. I also enjoyed, when I was getting it into place, the way the Clone Wars logo burnt out into the Bad Batch logo. Now, as with all my reactions, the unedited version of this reaction will be up on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance, and I'm just going to keep running on through. Season 2 will start before I'm finished, caught up with Season 1, so I will just roll that into the end of Season 1, and I'm very excited. So yes, let's go. This is pre-order 66. Oh, excellent.
Master!
That's a baby.
Here, don't worry. They're right behind me.
Caleb.
Different.
Am I being really dumb? Caleb. Caleb who I think he is. I'm looking in my brain, I doubt myself so badly. Here comes the Bad Batch, alright? You can't deny that they're effective. Ruthlessly efficient. Good, good, good. Oh, Roger Rogers.
There you are, little Jedi! You missed all the fun!
Watching your team in action was the fun.
Care to introduce your
Such a deep voice.
Yes, Master.
We move fast.
Good. That's the only way I know.
I like him!
Me too. Oh. What order did that man just get? Oh god. This never gets any better. Oh lord. Could they, because they're different, do they not order 66? I'm gonna order him. You have to, you have so much ahead of you.
We're here to help! No! Liar!
They are affected by Order 66.
Stand down until we know what's going on.
It's affecting him. This is so interesting.
Wrong.
No wonder he hates stormtroopers, or clone troopers.
Take it easy, kid.
He's just lost everything. He could never trust you. They really like to make us suffer by making us watch Order 66 again and again and again. We still don't even probably know what happened to Grogu during it.
No!
How did he survive? How did any of them survive? Barely, I guess, is the answer. This is so fascinating that... I was initially assuming that kind of all of the Bad Batch, because they were, you know, bad product or whatever nonsense, they wouldn't Order 66. But the fact that one of them is completely Order 66ing, or is it more just, was he affected by Order 66, or is he just ruthless? And so, like, it was clear from the way the other clones were acting that they were told to kill the Jedi, so he was like, oh, I've been told to kill the Jedi, I'm just gonna go kill the Jedi. Interesting.
Separatist leadership has collapsed. The war is
And the
over.
Jedi have been massacred.
Just like I said, you'll get used to it.
Speak for yourself.
Now I'm curious as to whether or not the sharpshooter was actually Crosshair, or whatever his name is. Whether he actually was Order 66ing or just murdering.
Missions.
Galactic Empire.
Things are changing.
What's the difference? The systematic termination of the Jedi is a big one for me.
Agreed. Who is
Hello.
this?
A service conscription soldiers could provide at half the cost.
The skill level and efficiency of our clones is far superior to that of any recruited body.
I shall be the judge of that, Prime
I mean,
Minister.
it's true. But they don't care about people's rights. Whereas before they were like, oh, we'll create people who have no rights so that we don't have to take away our other people's rights. And now they're just going to take away people's rights. I still don't agree with the construction of the clones.
What kind of evaluation? Hopefully not mental. Clearly, we'd never pass that.
Hello again.
Who are you and why are you so interested in them?
Omega.
Another member added to the sad batch.
What the?
Is she also a clone?
I like this kid.
The last one you liked.
You say to me,
Crosshair started shooting.
Back on.
Of course. He always was a child. My god, you guys need to get off this planet immediately because you are not going to be viewed as valuable to the Empire. She's good.
Watch out!
No. Get them off.
But my tests are not yet complete.
He's got trauma.
It's okay.
Maybe this Empire thing's not so bad after all.
I'm stressed. Unless, I mean, they are ruthlessly effective, so I suppose they need to weigh up how much they can use them versus how volatile they are. There's the Bad Batch, alright?
The value of all...
Crosshair is very good, even if I don't like him.
Switch to live fire.
Admiral Tarkin, I must protest. Live rounds could damage my clones and my facility.
That's
For
the
which
point.
you will be fairly compensated.
Yep, this is very real. This is beginning to feel more like an execution. They are highly effective, it's just going to be weighing up, isn't it, the Empire, whether they're more danger than they are. Yep. We're just one of their droids, we are better than you. Excellent teamwork.
They could be an asset to your new empire.
Yet reports indicate they exhibit a concerning level of disobedience in
This
disregard
is what I was
for
concerned
A
about.
side effect of their mutation.
A counter-report filed by one of their own
Fucking
says the Padawan
hell.
escaped.
Crosshair is
Let
my
us see
least
where the
favourite.
loyalty of these clones truly lie.
You got shot. It happens all the time.
Shouldn't
There's
happen in a place
fundamental
of
difference between
safety.
taking fire in battle.
If you neutralize this grave threat, you will be looked upon.
He's worried about
most
Order 66, it's
favorably
gotta be
as I
Jedi,
assess the
right?
needs of the Imperial Army.
A new mission and unlimited explosives. Things are back to normal.
See, I like Wrecker because he's very almost childlike in his mannerisms.
It's dangerous here too. Things aren't like before. We need to leave Camino.
Listen to her. Just run.
Change takes getting used to. You'll see.
Take the kid with you if you're running. Don't take the kid with you on the mission. Very concerned about who they're here to get. Is it refugees?
Something's not right.
They're being tested.
Give the order.
I do not like Crosshair.
Stand
I hope he has character growth or dies.
Why would Tarkin send us to attack our own forces?
Guess you're not the Republic anymore.
to fight for an empire.
You're Saw Gerrera, trained by
Hello
Captain
again.
Rex and General Skywalker.
What are you gonna do? Strike us down like you did the Jedi?
Is that a request?
Enough.
Crosshair, go
Expect to
away.
fight battle droids. According to reports, the Jedi made an attempt on the Supreme Chancellor's life.
Yes, and those
His
reports can
actions
definitely be
were a
trusted.
defensive measure.
And I figured you for the smart one.
And even if the Jedi had done it, even if some of the Jedi had done it, there would never be the excuse to kill them
The
all.
clone army, the Clone War may have ended. The Civil War is about to begin.
A long, protracted, messy one.
And either adapt and survive, or die with the past. The decision is yours.
Adapt and survive. As bleak as things seem now. But I almost feel like in the short term, if you can, the best thing to do is to go along with the Empire and smile and be like, yes, we're pro-Empire, and then get your resources ready to strike. They didn't kill you, they could have done.
They sent us to eliminate innocent civilians.
Who said they're innocent?
There are children.
Me. I'm following orders.
Exactly.
If you don't have the stomach to do what needs to be done.
Does he have a lot of the programming in him, or is he just a horrible person?
A state of heightened awareness is not unusual for an enhanced clone such as herself.
Good one, Tech. You
She's
almost
one of
had
them.
me.
When Nalase spoke of 5 clones, Tarkin assumed that meant us.
Echo.
Echoes are reg.
I was
The
thinking
5th
that.
is Omega. I confirmed my suspicion.
I was thinking when they were saying that I wondered if they just counted Echo as the 5th.
After analyzing her DNA,
We're going back for her.
She's one of them.
disobeying orders.
Just leave him here.
Over a kid.
Echo, it's time for you to decide if you want to be part of this group or not.
She's one of us.
We are official Kaminoan.
Don't touch me, droid.
And
Oh. You need to get your kid. Your sister, I presume. I was expecting them to be met with, like, armed guards ready to take them into custody. Or shoot them. Oh, nope, I wasn't wrong.
The Empire does not tolerate failure, Sergeant.
There were complications.
You lied
Yes,
about the
probe
mission.
droid's report was
Well, the plan wasn't a total failure.
Oh, they found her.
Goody.
Or you can stay on Camino if...
No, it's like I said before. I want to go with you.
How touching.
Oh, fuck off.
Locked up in here because of him? He had us disobey orders.
Or, if you hadn't filed a report turning in one of your brothers, this wouldn't be happening either, because they wouldn't have had evidence that you hadn't completed Order
I never
66.
thought you disobeying orders was a problem. Good soldiers follow orders.
He's
Every
Order
choice you've made
66.
since color has been wrong. Herrera.
Good soldiers follow
Becoming a
orders.
liability.
I know what you're going to do, but please don't.
What do you know?
I
What's
know
her enhancement?
It's not your fault.
Yep.
You can't help it.
I feel a bit bad now.
Can you intensify the
Oh,
program?
God.
Yes.
Then proceed.
It isn't his fault that he's the worst. How would you like it if that was you?
Because while these cells were retrofitted to hold normal individuals, they could not possibly account for someone like Rekka.
Oh, you mean I could punch our way out? Oh, right. Make it count. Okay.
They've never looked more innocent.
The girl's still registered in lockdown. Tell her where she is.
Bless her.
Hit the switch, Omega!
Quick, 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 sweetheart. I mean, it's not the Reg's fault. Just like it isn't Crosshair's fault.
I don't think we'll have to go far.
Yep, he's coming to assassinate all of you.
Is that Crosshair?
Order 66. And everything it entails.
Have you lost your mind?
We should
He's
have
lost
killed
control
that
of
Jedi.
it.
You never could see the bigger picture.
You
Now
never will
surrender.
again. I mean, I didn't like Crosshair, and he was one of them, and he was their brother. Maybe he was better before. I know a lot of them irritated me when they're in the Clone Wars. But I like them better in their own, like, Rekka. I'm just babbling, because if I babble then I'm more stressed. Because Rekka was really irritating in the Clone Wars, though I could understand, like, as a character why he'd be more likeable. But in this context, when there's not everything else going on, I really like all of the rest of them.
Omega, stay low. One.
And she's got the teddy. Oof. Keep moving.
Omega, go!
Oh. Oh my god. She's letting them go? Holy shit.
Go!
Is she letting them go because she cares about the girl or because she cares about her clones in a weird way? Good girl, sweetheart. He didn't account for the kids. He didn't account for her. Go, move! She is one of them, alright. Are they gonna keep coming up against him? Is he gonna be like sent to try and kill them because he knows how they think? It's awful. It's not his fault.
The remaining clones of Squad 99 have escaped, along with Omega.
And there was definitely no interference from me.
Is this what you were looking for?
Oh, you found my Lula! Ow!
She is one of them.
Impressive shot back there. Where'd you learn to do that?
I don't know. I've never fired a blaster before.
Is she a mix of like all of their augmentations?
She's not the only one. Strap in, kid. You're not gonna want to miss this view.
Oh, she gets to sit at the front. Taking everything in. That was a lovely shot. Okay, I really enjoyed that episode. I was a little bit apprehensive going into this show because I didn't love the Bad Batch in the Clone Wars. I just feel like kind of their chaotic energy didn't really fit with a lot of the tone of what was happening in the situation. But while I was apprehensive, like I said, I was also excited because of how many people praised the series. And I definitely think this group of characters works a lot better on their own without kind of being put up against, you know, like when they're constantly dismissing regs. And when you're like, yeah, those regs are amazing, fuck off. It was in this context, it was a lot better. And especially I think this show works so well with this sort of downfall of the Republic and with the end of the clones being what they were. It works really well as well. And I think it's particularly interesting that one of them was susceptible to the chip. Maybe initially not as bad as the rest of them, but I spent so much of this episode debating whether Crosshair was acting that way because he's a dick or whether he was acting that way because of the chip. And I think it probably was a little bit of both. I don't remember vividly. I remember finding in the original Wrecker frustrating because like it was in this middle of these like deeply like serious battles and then he'd be like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna go blow some people up. And I'd be like, serious times. But I think as a character there is something, I think it's his sort of innocence about him, even though he's running around blowing things up. Maybe childlikeness, I don't know. There's something that is likable about him. I also really do like Tech. You know, he just seems like the Tech guy so far, but he hasn't done anything to make me dislike him, and so I enjoy him. Echo, obviously we love Echo. But my favourite one so far of the Bad Batch is Hunter, both from when he let Caleb go to his instinctive connection with Omega. He's the character so far that I enjoy the most. Partly, I mean, he's the leader of the group to an extent. I mean, obviously he is the leader, but he isn't like authoritative, I don't know. But like he's the leader, but he also questions the orders and does what he thinks is right, not just what he's told to do. And that can be dangerous in like real life sort of military situations. But when you're getting dodgy orders, you need to have that ability because I was following orders isn't an excuse at the end of the day. So I really enjoyed Hunter in this episode, and I think the rest of them are going to really grow and meld. And I wonder if Crosshair is ultimately savable. I mean, I know we saw a couple of instances of chips being deactivated or removed, but I can't see that happening. So I almost feel like at some point they're going to have to stop their brother permanently. I feel like I didn't like Crosshair in the original, like when they first showed up in Clone Wars. I might have to try and like go back and find my reactions to see who I liked and who I didn't in those. But you know, I'm not sad that he's not sticking around. I mean, obviously, I do now feel a bit bad given that it wasn't really his fault. It was just a chip in his head. The way he was instinctively shooting at Caleb in the tree before they even knew what the orders were made me think it was Order 66, but then I was sort of like, oh, if none of the rest of them are affected, but obviously each of them is different. And I do wonder about Omega, the fact that she was so brilliant with the shooting, has she got all of their different special abilities, or what is she? She's a special product of some kind. I'm very intrigued to find out more about her as it all develops. And the Kanoan, is that what the place is called? The scientist lady let them all go, which is very interesting. And she didn't even tell, not like the Prime Minister was like, good, we let them escape. He was even like, don't tell the Empire. So there's a lot going on there that I'm very interested about, and I think really fleshes it out a lot more. And you know, I love all of these series. I love the things that fill in the gaps that the big movies myths jump over, because of course the movies have to jump over them. And so yet again seeing, I mean, they love to devastate us. How many freaking times are we gonna have to watch Order 66 play out? And the worst thing is I want to watch it at least one more time, because we didn't see everything that happened to Grogu, and I need to know what will happen to my son. But seeing it in this case yet again, and seeing it through both the eyes of the Jedi, through the eyes of a Jedi child, Caleb, who I was waiting for her to say run, and for him to run, and from the eyes of clones who were not programmed, is utterly devastating yet again. And to then find one of your brothers is both so part of it, that he's just shooting at children like it's nothing, and then willingly shooting at you like it's nothing, is very, very chilling. And it speaks even more so to how wrong the clones were. But to an extent, I think the Jedi lost their way when they agreed to having clones in the first place. Cloning people just to kill. Like, obviously I don't agree with conscription either. I can vaguely understand that if you are under attack you might have no other choice, but like, yeah, just the whole concept of the clones and not giving them a choice in the matter, and creating them the way they did, having a chip in their heads, is just a further extension of removing that power, removing their self-control, their self-authority. So it was quite horrible to kind of watch that happen, and you almost feel like from this point onwards their vitriol against the regs makes sense, because the regs don't have properly their personalities or their independence anymore. But it was very interesting to kind of watch yet again this transition of the Republic is over now, we're the Empire, and the Jedi was so terrible, that's why we had to kill all of them, even the children. Just doesn't make any sense. Even if the Jedi High Council had been plotting a coup and did want to take over the Republic, you maybe could excuse executing them, although even then prison exists. But every single Jedi anywhere, it's ludicrous. But obviously that is, the people are either too scared or unable to do anything to stop the Empire, or they benefit from it, and so they think, fuck that, who cares? Which is just like the world we live in today. That's why people vote right wing. It's a very, very good first episode. It was very long, obviously it was kind of like a mini movie, but I really enjoyed the way it explored these characters, the way it explored the aftermath of the Clone Wars, and how it sets you up for, you know, I guess the rest of this season is going to be them both trying to survive and maybe starting to fight back. Though I say starting to fight back, I think it'll be more a case of defending themselves rather than like, we're going to join a rebellion. But I do think it's going to be interesting to see what steps they take next, and to watch as they adapt to this new environment, because yes, they were the kind of out there group that does whatever they can, does whatever they want to, and doesn't do what they're told, but they also still followed orders, and they still went where they were told to go, and they still carried out the missions they were told to carry out. Whereas for the first time they're independent, no one is telling them what to do, and all they have to worry about is themselves and their survival, and it's going to be interesting to see where that takes them. This was a very, very good first episode, first movie. Thank you so much for watching. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance, and thank you so much for watching.